Ever hooked up with an ex-girlfriend, getting that warm sensation of familiarity, feeling of maybe transgressing some unspoken rule about dating someone you've dated before, and yet so much pleasure to look forward to. Well, guys, stay with me. We're going to talk about watches, not girlfriends, and we're going to talk about Datejust II. So even if you don't like this watch in particular, stay with me. I think the discussion will be interesting. So in 2019, some of you might remember, some of you had never seen my channel at that time. I bought this very model, the 116333, in an old-fashioned Rolex 80 here in Hong Kong. I found a few new old stocks. They had been discontinued by then. Datejust IIs, some with the Roman numerals, and this one with the Arabic numerals, which are loomed. Immediately caught my eye. I thought it was a bit bombastic, a bit over the top. Absolutely, it is. But it just stayed with me, and in the end I purchased it at the retail with a little discount. And I remember my colleague, lady colleague, really loved this watch. And then later on, I got a bit more refined in my watch taste, and I purchased a couple of Patek Calatravas at very good prices. And I figured, this one is a bit too flashy, slightly too big. After this, they refined the model and came out with the Datejust 41, which is just a bit slimmer with an upgraded movement. And then visiting my local second-hand dealer, they had a rare GLC Memovox International, very cool watch, and I traded this one for the GLC, which I enjoyed for a bit, and then in the end sold. It was a bit of a bad experience, actually. That's a whole other story, a whole other video. But ever since, I really missed my Datejust II. I really loved this bombastic look, and I had put a search on, a reminder on in Chrono 24, and of course the market went up, and all the dealers had increased their prices on these, and suddenly instead of being a $10,000 watch, it was a $13,000-$14,000 watch. And I kept on seeing those watches there being unsold, but you know how dealers are, they will keep the prices up as long as they can. And I just kept on looking for my own watch. I didn't want to buy another one, especially not spending more than I had spent in the first place. And then on the local buy-sell ads, I found someone selling this, and we met. He was asking for a reasonable price, but still a bit more than I wanted to pay. And he was a watch guy. He was wearing a Moser. If somebody wears a Moser, it's a watch guy. So somebody you can really talk to. And I said I will think about it. And then I had other watches in my sight. I purchased a couple of other watches. So, I kind of let it go a little bit. And then he was reducing his price to the point where I thought, maybe I'll make a cheeky bid for it. And then he made a fire sale price at a level at which I could not say no, like a level where you cannot lose, really, below what I had paid originally for the first one, for the first of these models that I owned. So we met, and there you go. Now I have the watch back, and it just feels so good. It is really like hooking up with basically your favorite girlfriend, that beautiful, tall Russian girl that, okay, let's stop here, the story. I'm married now with somebody else. So, but yeah, it very, very much is akin to that, and it feels so good on the wrist. So now, as you can see, I'm shooting in 4K. So the file is going to be big, that's one thing. And you can see a lot more the little scratches. I mean, this watch is from 2010, so it had some life, but very gentle. And I remember just wearing mine for a few months, you pick up as many scratches as you can see here. So really not a big deal. Overall, the watch is in very, very good condition, not worn too much. And I need to detail it a bit more. I've removed a bit of gunk and all that had accumulated, but some of it is pretty well stuck in there. But we're getting there. So a little word about the Datejust II. So they came out in 2009, and Rolex really went to town with it. So the Datejust was a classic, always size 36 millimeter, and they went to 41. That's a big change. And the first version, the Datejust II, was it is very nicely profiled, and profile is down, so it wears nicely. It is I wouldn't say thick. Total is 12 millimeters by 50 lug to lug, but it is substantial, and only came with the oyster bracelet, which adds a bit more to the sportiness, and you have a pretty large bezel. So it had a very strong look, and in 2017 they discontinued it and came up with the Datejust 41, which is still 41, but more refined, as you would see. No, not this one. As you would see here, it's not massively different, but with the 41 you could get this Jubilee bracelet, which pairs down the mass, and looking at them side by side, it's just quite a bit more refined. You can see the thinner lug profile here compared to the more substantial one here. Having said that, the Datejust II is not a heffalump, you know. It's I would compare the presence of it to the Day-Date, to the President, with a few advantages. Is that while it is visually very strong, like a President, you do have the advantage of having lume, and a lot of it at that. You also have the easy link, which you don't get with the President, and of course you have the steel structure, which is less prone to damage and scratches than the full gold or full platinum, but certainly the full gold of a Day-Date. And so also a bit less weight. This one here, removing toolings, is 154 grams, so still very manageable type of weight. So the dial here, I think, is as strong as the outside, which is a very strong look, especially with the fluted bezel in a yellow gold here. But I'm a big fan of black and yellow gold. I don't think it's for everybody, but if you're past the age of 45, I think it becomes very cool. And I gotta say, it makes me really happy to have this piece back in my collection, which could be my only piece. It's quite sportier than the other one, which I absolutely love. I'm gonna keep this one for forever. It's more refined. But this one here just makes a big statement. And you know, the watch doesn't make the man, of course. The man makes the watch, but it does give you an extra bit of confidence. So it is confidence boosting, and at the same time you need quite some confidence to pull off a watch like this, which maybe I wouldn't have in my 20s, for example. Now, something a bit special about the Datejust II is that it features a movement that was only available in this watch. So the references 116-300, 333, and the 334. So it is the 3536. So the difference with the 3136. So the difference with the 3135, which you know very well, which was in every other model of the range for so many years, tried and true movement, is that the watch got bigger. So the main plate got larger to allow for a larger wheel for the date. And by the way, the date on this larger watch looks quite a bit smaller, so it's a lot less visually overpowering than on other smaller watches which have the Cyclops. So it's quite an advantage for this watch. Also, the 3136 had, instead of KIF shock absorbers, had the Paraflex shock absorbers and already the Parachrome hairspring for better resistance to magnetic fields, and the Breguet overcall for better accuracy in different positions. So there's quite a lot to love, I think, to the Datejust II model that's getting a bit forgotten. And what I like is that they came with very cool dials. I like the old steel version with the steel bezel, with the silver dial and the lavender Arabic numerals as well, very much. I like that one more than the one with the white gold fluted bezel. So I missed out on one and at a very good price, and I'm a bit sad about it, but this one compensates for that. So yeah, that's about it. Let me know a bit what you think. I think it's not for everybody. Not everyone would want to wear this watch, but I think it's you need different things in the collection. Some things that are a bit more refined, and it's nice to have something that has a strong visual as well. And I'm gonna wear this a lot. And yeah, at the price that I bought it at, I think you know, in a collection it makes sense to add a Datejust II if you can find one at a good price, because it was a bit of a special era of Rolex when they blew up the sizes of everything, and they are still busy doing that on some models. And I think they went a bit overboard with this and with the Datejust II as well, and they refined everything a little bit behind that. So it's kind of cool to have a memento of that era. And there you go. Let me know what you think, and we'll follow up in a further video about the 116333. Bye bye, guys.